Hey, appreciate you. Everything that you done for me. You and Riyadh.
You must
The job ain't done yet.
Yeah,
Job ain't done yet.
yeah.
But
Saturday, deliver the job.
But listen.
One more.
Let me try.
The showdown between an undisputed monarch and a 4-division world champion has the entire world talking. Commentators and arguments about who is superior in skill, speed, and strategy have left supporters utterly split. While everyone is arguing over the obvious, Gennady Golovkin has exposed the one terrible aspect of Canelo's style that he thinks Crawford just cannot manage.
I'll say he is the hardest, for sure. One of the fighters that hit very hard was Angulo. You know, he's a Cuban guy, and he punched very hard too. So I'll say both of them are like the same, but, you know, with Canelo, I was just mentally ready for his shots. You know, I already told myself, I know I'm going to get hit. I know I'm going to get hit on my chin, but it's, you know, I got to bite down on my mouthpiece and push. You know, and look what happened in the third round. I got hit with a left hook. We'd be practicing in camp the whole time, you know, keeping my right hand to my chin, and I wound up just moving, and he connected right on my chin. And you see how I punched my glove. You know, that's like a thing for me when my last time when I got dropped, I was punching my gloves. 'Cause I'm like, damn, I got hit with a shot. I'm not supposed to be on the floor. But, you know, it comes with boxing. You know, the greats done got dropped, you know, got hurt. But it's about how you come back and respond.
No other fighter is as familiar with Canelo Alvarez as Gennady Golovkin. He battled the Mexican superstar for 36 grueling rounds, sensing his strength and examining every move he made. Golovkin's analysis of the Crawford bout breaks through the cacophony. He thinks that Canelo's most potent weapon is more than one punch. His fighting style is distinctive.
Boxing IQ. He's a very good fighter. He's stronger. He is very compact. He is like a bull, you know. He's a smart guy.
Well, but Gennady Golovkin responds, and this is what he had to say, quote, he says, Terence Crawford won't have a problem with Canelo's power because he doesn't have any power.
Wild fighting is not the point of this. It all comes down to deliberate, constant pressure. It is alarming how Canelo can remain steadfast in the middle of the ring, take the greatest strikes from his rivals, and then gradually dismantle them. Although Crawford is an excellent fighter, Golovkin contends that he has never encountered a guy who possesses both Canelo's stature and that special fighting intelligence. Crawford typically sets the tempo and directs bouts from a distance. Canelo, however, will close that distance and push him into a bout for which he is unprepared. Golovkin cautions that if Crawford can withstand the extreme pressure over the first 6 rounds, he may have a remote chance.
Canelo, the biggest challenge of your professional career.
100%, yes.
He is the best opponent you will face.
He is, yeah, of course.
This, come on, right now this is the biggest fight in boxing. Come on, third fight for us, you know. Canelo, everybody knows Canelo, you know, it's the biggest gift for people who really like boxing. Everybody's different situation, different way, different everything, you know, like, come on. Last fight in Canelo, he looked different, you know, not like a 168, 75, no, because different situation.
He's not a regular guy, you know, he's, right now I'm very happy because I have this fight because it's, you know, different level, you know, very convincing.
Is it hard to concede that he's the best fighter you've fought, considering all the animosity around this fight and promotion?
Of course, he's, I don't know, best or not best fighter for my career. He's a real very good fighter. He's 100%.
Golovkin's longtime trainer Abel Sanchez makes an even more dire forecast, as if his warning weren't enough. Canelo's strength is evident to Sanchez, who has witnessed it personally. He responded plainly when asked how the battle would proceed. Canelo's going to crush him. He admits that Crawford might outpace Canelo in the opening few rounds due of his speed. Sanchez cautions that this is a component of the trap, though. The fight will drastically shift once Canelo settles into a rhythm and begins to land his strong punches, even on the shoulders and arms. He likens the force of Canelo's blows to getting struck by a massive vehicle. Sanchez thinks Crawford's foundation is the true problem. He questions if Crawford, who weighs 168 pounds, will have the leg strength to remain upright for 12 rounds. Thus, he won't be able to avoid the bigger man's punishment. This is a grave warning from someone who's seen firsthand Canelo's deadly powers.
I think it's a ridiculous fight myself. I think that Crawford is too small. Canelo is, in my opinion, the face of boxing right now. I think that look at his resume. I think it's a good fight for a little while. Crawford's hand speed will, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the hand speed was evident at the beginning of the fight. But as the fight goes on, Canelo's going to start pounding on him, and I think that the fight ends somewhere between the 9th and 12th round.
You really figure because of the size difference, he can stop Crawford?
Well, absolutely. I think that anything Canelo hits him with is going to hurt him. He won't be able to catch him early because, like I said, the speed and the foot speed and the hand speed. And Crawford's a heck of a fighter at his own weight. 54 when he fought Madrimov in his last fight showed us that he can't really, the weight makes a difference. I don't care how much weight he gains and how much he does to try to get up to that level. 168 is going to make.
This story has happened before, and it usually doesn't end well. Ask Kell Brook, please. A great boxer and unbeaten champion. He upped his weight to take on Gennady Golovkin. A fractured eye socket and a crushing defeat were the outcome. Brook is now expressing his worries about Crawford. He clarifies that increasing weight involves more than just building muscle. It alters one's fighting techniques and manner of taking punishment.
You know, it's a wow. It's a wow fight. You know what I mean? It's two supreme athletes fighting against each other, but you've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's gonna have to, move up, and I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay, but when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but Crawford's very, very, very good.
He draws attention to the distinction between Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, the only fighter to outbox Canelo. Mayweather frustrated Canelo by moving constantly and never remaining motionless long enough to get struck. However, Brook notes that Crawford has a distinct style. He is a superb counterpuncher who must be placed in order to land his potent blows. Approach is effective against weaker opponents, but can be a deadly error when facing a strong fighter like Canelo, who will still have someone to hit.
I don't know, I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more, he kind of sets his feet. He's cute with how he approaches, chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather. But like I say, it's one of them what we've got to tune into and watch. Both unbelievable fighters, but I'd have to favour Canelo. Just his size and his experience, and just his ring generalship. He's got confidence. He's big. He's strong. Crawford's more of a smaller guy, sharp fighter. He's number one as well. But like I said, in my opinion, I've got to lean towards Crawford. Canelo.
Doubts arise from an unexpected source just when the storyline appears to be squarely in Canelo's favor. Canelo has recently come under fire from legendary promoter Bob Arum, who implied that his motivation may be dwindling. According to Arum, Canelo is no longer competing as a warrior after glory, but rather as a businessman intent on making money. This gives the battle a fascinating new dimension. Is Canelo still the ferocious warrior he used to be? Or has he become complacent due to his success? Even so, Arum concedes that Canelo is a master in his natural weight class, where his strength is evident, at 168 pounds. Despite Crawford's extraordinary talent, he cautions that his well-known reflexes may be compromised by the weight gain.
Canelo has shown in his last few fights that he's just a businessman. He's not in there to entertain the public. He just takes the big check. But again, if Canelo really fights, because I think it's safe to say Terence always fights. He doesn't know anything else. So then it could be a very good, interesting fight.
You've always praised Terence as a special fighter. Do you think he can beat Canelo?
Who is Canelo? What Canelo is going to show up? The Canelo who's looking to cash a big check, or the Canelo that really wants to fight like a fighter? Now, the Canelo we've seen the last 2 years is not only boring, but doesn't really have an incentive to mix it up and to entertain people with a good fight.
With the odds against him, Crawford's mental toughness might be his finest weapon. At this point, the story takes a different turn, with many analysts thinking that a historic moment may be approaching. Greg Hackett, an analyst, presents the bout as a potential shift in boxing tactics, a night when technique could triumph over strength. This opinion is supported by Gerald Miller, who highlights how Crawford's unwavering will and mental toughness might level the playing field. He contends that the mind has the power to drive the body over its breaking point in such important battles. Air Khan, who has sensed the strength of both boxers, may be the one who supports Crawford the most. Khan thinks Crawford is the more experienced and skilled fighter, implying that Canelo may have finally suffered from years of hard fighting and become susceptible to Crawford's capabilities. They contend that weight classes aren't the only factor at play here. It's about the peak of one boxer colliding with the demise of another.
I'm pulling for Crawford in this one. I think people are underestimating his strength right now and his size. I think he's a little more hungry than Canelo. So let's see though, but I like both guys, but I'm a little closer to Crawford, so I want to see Crawford can take it.
Beyond the opinions of experts and technical analysis, this event has gained interest due to a whiff of controversy. Fans are talking about the official battle poster, but social media buzz has peaked. The poster for Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez in 2013 resembles the one for Canelo versus Crawford, according to observers, with the same tagline. That evening, Mayweather trained a young, unbeaten Canelo. Conspiracy theories and conjecture have been triggered by this. Does this portend something, or is it just a coincidence? Some supporters think it implies that Canelo is being positioned as the A-side heavyweight, similar to how he was against Mayweather, only to be outwitted by a better technical. With Canelo playing the part of the defeated champion, this subplot raises the prospect of history repeating itself.
I've always went with Crawford this fight. It's nothing against Canelo, because Canelo's a hell of a fighter. I don't know how he is as a person. Neither the guy, I don't know how neither of them are as a person, but I like Crawford for challenging himself. Like, that's the type of things I do and I've done. So I like anybody that's willing to challenge themselves, whether it's money or not. You still have the heart to go in there and challenge the bigger guy. So, but I think it's going to be. I think if Crawford uses his boxing ability, then it'd be a better fight for him. If Crawford wins, then it makes his resume 10.
Canelo Alvarez, a formidable fighter in his peak weight class, is on one side. Terence Crawford, a technological wizard who dares to take on a difficult task, is on the other. Throughout the entire conversation, Gennady Golovkin's caution is still relevant. He highlights that the true test will be not only Canelo's strength, but also his unrelenting fighting style. Canelo's fighting technique is intended to overwhelm and exhaust opponents. The world will soon find out if Crawford is the only fighter with the skills to stay afloat, or if, like many others before him, he will give in to the constant pressure. Will boxing fans see a historic shock in a match between technical skill and sheer power? Or will even someone as talented as Terence Crawford find that strength and girth are a problem?
dog. He's a beast, and he's out to prove something too. So I'm excited about this fight. Canelo obviously is self-explanatory. There's really no need to go down the rabbit hole when it comes to him. But I do see this being as a 50-50 fight. But if I was a betting man, I would bet on Crawford. But also too, you can't count Canelo out. I mean, would go in, I'm assuming, as the favorite, which is rightfully so.
That concludes today's video. Please remember to hit the bell button, subscribe, and like if you liked it so you don't miss any of our next videos. Additionally, remember to leave a comment with your ideas. We hope to see you in the upcoming video, so stay tuned.